Hi, welcome to the Wellness Lifestyle Online Conference. What a wonderful opportunity for me to share with you the benefits of having balance in your life. But first, I wish to tell you a bit about me. My name is Jordaan, and I currently live in Cape Town, South Africa. I have been on my own spiritual journey for most of my life. I was in the corporate world for many decades, and whilst in the corporate environment, my interest in the metaphysics became apparent. Whilst there, I started training in various modalities, which I both practice and teach. I left the corporate world in 2006 to open up my own healing practice. Currently, I practice as a soul counselor coach, a healing facilitator, wedding ceremonialist, and shaman. I trained in shamanism with Peruvian teachers and was initiated as Kurak initiate of the sacred Andean tradition during October 2009. Furthermore, I facilitate various initiation rites, namely the Munai Ki, Karpai Kanchis Nustakuna, the Rite of the Womb, Lighterian Institute attunements, and I also offer my own Divine Blueprint Macabre Body activations. This is a body of work that I'm in the process of developing further. I am the channel and author of 2 light languages, one being the Cosmic Light Keys and the other the Divine Light Keys. Both are being developed as tools for personal healing, illumination, and self-development for humanity. I offer this in love and service. Lastly, I'm an experienced journey leader, and I take groups to various world sacred sites and places of power. These are illumination journeys that I facilitate, and I provide teachings, initiations, activations, ceremonies, etc. on these tours. Today I wish to discuss with you the benefits of having balance in your life. What is the benefit of being balanced? What will you gain? You are fully present in your life and grounded on the earth plane. All aspects of your life, such as relationships, business, work, family, friends, all will function cohesively together. This often brings the benefit of well-being and abundance to your life. Along with it, it brings excitement, pleasure, fun, joy, creativity, purpose, and meaning. What does one lose out on when you don't have balance? One becomes we are constantly involved in survival mode. We have no time for anything, and finances tend to be limited. Often there is conflict all around us and within us. An out of balance body reflects disease, exhaustion, lethargy, unhappiness, seeking externally for love and acceptance, and have a lack of direction and purpose. Life simply does not flow. As you may know, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. As humans, we are comprised of a physical body with various energy bodies and layers around us. That requires all of them to work together in an evolved way in order to bring about balance and full functionality. Should any one or more of our energy bodies be out of balance, we are out of balance and our lives become difficult. I'm going to do a fairly quick synopsis of the layers of our energy bodies, and the chakras to give you a basic understanding of them and their relationships with each other. I will then discuss what is known as the 4 subtle energy bodies in metaphysics, and they are commonly known as the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. I will also discuss how each of these 4 subtle bodies influence each other and how these influences impacts on you and your life. By gaining greater understanding of each of these energy bodies individually, their interrelation, function, and purpose will help you gain perspective of the various aspects of your life, thereby allowing you to balance within, to be present in your life, and to manifest your dreams. By being in balance results in us functioning better. Our lives and work improves, and our relationships flourish. We also allow ourselves to be creative, to have fun, and life becomes our passion. Right, let's start with the human energy field. The image to the left is a representation of what our energy field around us looks like. In the picture to the right, you can see the individual energy bodies made up of various layers of bright light that surrounds and interpenetrates our physical body. These energy fields are not visible to the naked eye. However, some people are able to see them. These energy fields are commonly known by various names, such as the aura, universal energy field, or the luminous energy field. Based on observations, researchers created theoretical models that divide the aura into several layers. This is visible on picture 2. These layers are known as energy bodies, and they interpenetrate and surround each other in successive layers. That is on this picture is reflected in the various colors. Each body is composed of their finer substances and higher vibrations than that of the layer it surrounds and interpenetrates. From a scientist's point of view, each layer can be considered to be the level of higher vibration, occupying the same space as the level of vibration below and extending beyond. In order to perceive each consecutive level, the observer must move up in consciousness to reach a new higher frequency level. Thus, we have 7 bodies all occupying the same space at the same time, each one extending beyond the last, something we do not experience in our normal life. The interrelationship of all of these energy bodies are managed through your chakra system, which we will be discussing soon. Our next slide, I'm going to show you the energy bodies and name them for you. Okay. There are, of course, more layers outside of these 7 layers, as you can see visible in this picture. But those layers or those bodies grow as we evolve ourselves more. But for now, and for simplicity, I'm going to talk just about the first 7 layers of the human aura and the 7 main chakras of the human aura. Right, the layers, starting from our physical body outwards. The first layer is known as the physical and etheric body. They are right next to each other. Okay, which is the lower etheric aspect. The second layer is known as the emotional body, the lower emotional aspect. The third layer is known as the mental body, the lower mental aspect. These 3 bodies are lower in vibration as they are reflected on the physical plane. These are the ones we need to master while we are here, okay, in physicality. The fourth layer is known as the astral body, or the bridge between the physical plane and the spiritual plane. The fifth layer is known as the etheric template, the physical aspect. The sixth layer is known as the celestial body, the emotional aspect. And the seventh layer is known as the etheric body, the mental aspect. These three layers are in higher vibration as they reflected in the spiritual plane. Okay. It all ties in together with us anyway. We do work from the higher bodies. The more we evolve, the more we incorporate the higher and the finer aspects into our physicality. But for now, let's look at the chakra system. Okay, there's a vertical flow of energy that pulsates up and down the field in the spinal cord. It extends out beyond the physical body, above the head and below the coccyx, and is known as the main vertical power current. There are swirling cone-shaped vortices called chakras in the field, and their tips point into the main vertical power current as shown in the picture on the left. Their open ends extend to the edge of each layer of the energy field. So you can see where they are located. If you look at the picture to the right, there you will see the chakras are in the middle. They start with the red at the bottom. That's our first chakra. And the physical plane you can see is the red line that goes around that. Okay, that is in the aura. Although it's interpenetrated into our physicality, it also extends into our aura. Right. Okay, so the first chakra is the red chakra, and it is known as the root or base chakra. Its right is to be here. The second chakra is the sacral chakra, the orange bit, and its right is to feel and have pleasure. The third chakra is the solar plexus chakra. That's the yellow line and the yellow chakra, and its right is to act and to be an individual. The fourth chakra is the heart chakra, the green line, and its right is to love and to be loved. The fifth chakra is the throat chakra. It is light blue, and its right is to speak and to be heard. The sixth chakra is the third eye or Ajna chakra, and its right is to see. The seventh chakra is known as the crown chakra, the violet one, and its right is to know and to learn. Here is a side view of the energy systems, of the chakra energy system. The location of the 7 major chakras correspond to the major nerve plexus of the physical body in the areas shown in this picture. Each major chakra on the front of the body is paired with its counterpart on the back of the body. And together, they are considered to be the front and the rear aspects of the same chakra. The front part of chakras 2, 3, 4, and 5 are reflected to a person's feeling center. It's also reflected as the A component in this picture. The same chakras 2, 3, 4, and 5 at the back relates to our will center, which is the B component in this picture. And then chakras 6, the 2 cones of 6 and cone of 7, represents our mental centers. Okay. Chakra 6 and 7 on their head, as I said, is the mental centers. And if you look at chakra 7 and chakra 1, the 2 cones, one going out, extending out at the top of the cord and one at the bottom of the cord, they appear to be paired along our main vertical current. The points of the tips of the chakras, where they are connected to the main current, are called the roots or the hearts of the chakras. Within these hearts are seals, which control exchange of energy between the layers of our aura through that chakra. That is, each of the 7 chakras have 7 layers that correspond to a layer of the auric field. Each chakra looks different on each of these layers. In order for the energy to flow from one layer to another through the chakra, it must pass through the seals in the roots of the chakras. So that is right on the inside along the cord that you can see visible. Here's our picture again of the human energy field, the one that reflects both the chakras and the aura layers. And I'd like to talk about how they function. The first layer of the aura is associated with the first chakra, and the second layer with the second chakra, and so on. Here is a general view of the aura layers and chakras and how they work and interrelate with each other. The first layer of the aura and the first chakra are associated with physical functioning and physical sensation, feeling physical pain or pleasure. The second layer and the second chakra are in general associated with the emotional aspects of the human being. They are the vehicles through which we experience emotional life and our feelings. The third layer of the chakras, the third layer of the aura and the chakra are associated with our mental life, with linear thinking. The fourth layer and the fourth chakra are the vehicles through which we love not only our loved ones and friends, but also humanity in general. The fourth chakra metabolizes the energy of love. The fifth layer and the fifth chakra is associated with a higher will that is more connected with the divine's will. The fifth chakra is associated with the power of the word, speaking things into being, listening, and taking responsibility for our actions and our lack of actions. The sixth layer and the sixth chakra are associated with celestial, spiritual, or godly love. It is a love that extends beyond the human range of love and encompasses all life. It makes the statement of caring and support for the protection and nurturing of all life. It holds all life forms as precious and as manifestations of God. The seventh layer and the seventh chakra are associated with a higher mind, knowing and integration of our spiritual, physical qualities. Thus, there are specific locations within our energy systems for the sensations, emotions, thoughts, memories, and other non-physical experiences that we would report to our doctors or our therapists. Understanding how physical symptoms are related to these locations will help us to understand the nature of different illnesses and also the nature of both health and disease. The study of the aura and the chakras can be a bridge between traditional medicine and our psychological concerns. As can be seen from everything I've discussed so far, it is imperative that you get a good grasp on how we function, as it will assist you to understand what it is that you need to do to bring about balance in your lives. So to simplify this in a way that is easier to grasp and to work with, I'm going to talk about the subtle energy bodies. Up until now, I discussed the aura and the chakras and how they fit together as energy bodies inside and around us. This is a simpler way, the subtle energy bodies is a simpler way to put the human makeup of our day-to-day functioning into perspective. We have 4 subtle bodies working within us, and they're all in partnership. They are the physical body, the emotional body, the mental body, and the spiritual body. Should any one of these bodies be out of balance, it affects the others through the energy systems already discussed. To be a fully balanced human being, each one of these bodies should be equally developed within us. To be balanced is what we are all striving towards being, whether it be from a conscious or an unconscious perspective. Let's talk a bit about each one of these bodies. The first one we will discuss is the physical body. That is the skin-colored inner circle in our picture. The one that is our physical body that we carry around with us, this body. The one that we water, that we feed, that we groom, and that we exercise daily. When we are out of balance in any one of our parts, whether it be our emotional, mental, or spiritual self, we stand the risk of creating some sort of disease within the physical body. Or invariably, we will have some or the other dysfunction in our lives. We're going to look at the mental body. Our mental body is the thinking, perception, and the doing side of us. It is also known as the masculine part within us. The structure of society has resulted in our mental body being well developed through our institutions such as education, military, business, and structured thinking. Generally, we are highly developed academically and often will become consumed in the academic side of life, thinking this is the only part that is essential for us to develop in order to live our lives appropriately. Without academics, one generally struggles to fit into society as a whole. Let's look at the masculine side of us, which is also a representation of our power. Constructive use of power results in logical thinking, structure, good decision-making, drive, ambition, action, control, etc. An imbalanced or unchecked power is usually resulting in dictatorship, being out of control, power hungry, being manipulative, bullying, abusing, arrogance, negative control, blaming, etc. Once we balance our unchecked power with our feeling side and we become aware, we automatically start to balance our unchecked power and function from a more balanced and constructive use of power. So the secret is to become aware. The yellow third represents our emotional body and is also known as our feelings body. Our institutions such as schooling, university, churches and business are not structured to teach about our feelings. Society has the view that this important component should be taught at home. From the mental body that we discussed earlier, I indicated how society is generally structured, and therefore our parents were at a distinct disadvantage to be able to teach us all about our feelings. How can it be properly taught at home when our parents and their parents before them were subjected to a mental society? One where feelings did not belong and was often not spoken about. If we were properly taught about our feelings, whether it be at home or in any of the institutions across the globe, society would not be as feelings dysfunctional as they are right now. This lack of feelings and emotional development is reflected in our current political world, our business world, and society as a whole. The feelings or emotional body is the feminine side within us, and it starts with love. It is supported by the rest, such as compassion, nurturing, caring, understanding, support, encouragement, empathy, giving, receiving, and asking for help. Many of us do not really understand what love is. We tend to think love from a mental perspective rather than feel love from a feelings perspective. There simply is an a lack of emotional intelligence throughout our world. This is currently recognized worldwide as a major deficiency in the development of society, resulting in governments, education, and business currently looking at implementing emotional intelligence, also known as EQ or IQ coaching, within the organizations in an effort to uplift their workforce, the educational systems, and society. It is obvious now looking at our energy bodies how the lack of emotional development has resulted in the way the world is functioning right now, as represented by the things or the actions like war, rioting, violence, murder, rape, etc. What is required to understand our feelings body? Firstly, we need to understand what feelings are. Feelings are a feeling response in the physical body. That is why it's called feelings. It is an interaction between our energetic body and our physical body. In school, we were taught to read via words. We were never taught about reading feelings in our own physical body when they occurred. This is a major shortfall in our education system and in society. The result is that we don't know how our feelings work within us or how to deal or reason with them when they appear. Not having knowledge of feelings allows the feelings to take control of us in a negative way, such as anger, frustration, irritation, jealousy, and victimhood. When these emotions manifest in our lives, the result leads to dysfunctional relationships all around us. Are emotions and feelings the same thing? No, they are not. I'm going to explain the difference to you. Our emotions is the rider for the unconscious feeling that we are covering up. For example, somebody says something and you get triggered. First thing you do is react angrily. Why? Because whatever was said triggered you unconsciously around an underlying feeling. You are reacting because you are not consciously in touch with or can read or recognize the feeling or feelings that have been triggered by this reaction. So whatever was said triggered the anger within you. And the anger is the emotion, not the feeling. So what are the underlying feelings around anger? Could it be that in the moment that you were triggered, you unconsciously felt criticized, judged, invalidated, exposed, not good enough, or hurt, unloved, not wanted, or even perhaps rejected? These are the feelings underneath the emotions that were triggered. And these are the ones that you're supposed to be expressing to the person and not have an anger reaction. So when you consciously understand the difference between your reactions and your emotions and your feelings, and see that emotions are not the feelings you're experiencing, you can then understand them, deal with them, and change your reactional response. This change will result in functional relationships, emotional intelligence, good leadership abilities, and intuition being further developed. Unconscious awareness of feelings can become highly explosive and reactive. And these emotions can lead to disease in our physical bodies, such as depression, diabetes, cancers, high blood pressure, etc. None of these are any disease that we wish or desire to have present within our bodies. When you open up to your feelings, you don't get to pick and choose them. They are not selective, but a package deal. When you allow yourself to feel, you feel what there is to feel. And this is an opportunity that presents itself to resolve any unfinished cycles or issues, to readdress old, outmoded belief systems and conditionings that no longer serve a purpose, or to fully move through the uncomfortable feelings of the past that was possibly too much to cope with at the time or at the time of being a child. However, as an adult, things are different. To feel, you allow yourself to be open to the full spectrum of feelings, and with this, the excitement and unpredictability of life, and what it feels like for you to be living, expressive human, to be a living, expressive human being, and what it means to feel alive in the world. The more you can accept your feelings without judgment and criticism, the easier it will be for you to experience them, work with them, and learn from them. There would be no need to suppress them or carry them around with you as extra baggage, day in and day out. This takes a lot of energy to do, and it always results in a great cost to you as you are being robbed of living a fulfilled life because of it. The spiritual body is a complex process and system that requires a deep understanding of spirituality and its purpose in our evolutionary process. We did not come about on the planet as a result of an accident, of certain chemicals coming together. We were divinely created, as all the religions tell us. It is imperative to understand that we are not our physical body, but we are a spiritual body housed in a physical body to enable us to experience and develop through life as a human being. We determine our physical body, our sex, our socio-economic environment, our country, our parents and siblings before we incarnate. We choose all of these aspects to give us the best potential, resulting in our learning, development, and understanding whilst here as a human on Mother Earth. To help us gain spiritual understanding and wisdom, we are subjected to the universal laws, its governance, and our free will and choice. The spiritual body allows us access to our libraries of light. These libraries of light are also known as the Akash. It facilitates access to our soul, our higher selves, our councils of light, be it angels, guides, or ascended masters. We go there when we seek answers for our lives. When we do this, it is important for us to ask for the assistance and to remember that we are responsible to take action wherever it is required. It is not up to any other being to sort things out for us. They are willing to assist us, but we need to do it, and we can ask for their assistance and their guidance, and they will help us, but the doing remains ours. Our spiritual body is hugely fragmented, and as a whole, there is very little understanding of our purpose on the planet, our personal purpose and journey within this, and the universal laws. An example is to intimately understand the law of cause and effect. For every cause, there's an effect, and for every effect, there's a cause. If we fully understood just this law, society in general would not behave in the way that they do. If we had better understanding of the spiritual aspects of our lives and the interconnectedness with the mental, emotional, and feelings aspects, the world would become a much safer, better, welcoming, loving, and supportive place for us all to live in. When we look at the balanced human being, us as a society tend to want to compartmentalize each of the aspects that we have discussed, namely the emotions, the feelings, the mental, or the spiritual. We want to separate them into institutions or functions within our lives. This brings about dysfunction within and around us. We are therefore required to understand the effects of our energy bodies as separate and interactive to facilitate our understanding and the effects and the impacts they have on our daily lives. To facilitate some of our understanding, a good knowledge of the masculine and feminine attributes within us would naturally help to bring about balance in your life, in your choices, in your relationships, and functioning in general. It is our duty as human beings to develop the various aspects discussed, to not only help ourselves, but our fellow human beings and all of life on the planet. I would like to remind you that from our wounds comes our learning, which transforms into wisdom. From our scars comes strength. It is a necessary part of our development as a species. When we do our growing, we are also healing our ancestral line. What a wonderful privilege and gift this is for us all. our lineage, and the greater whole. As I do for me, I do for we. We are all one. Thank you so much for participating. I trust you've seen the importance of finding balance within and why it is necessary for you to have it in your daily lives as best you can. At this time, I would like to mention that some of the images used as illustration in this presentation were taken from Google Images and they may have been copyrighted. For anyone interested in contacting me, here are my contact details. You're welcome to write them down. For now, I wish you well on your journey. And may you find balance, love, peace, and harmony within. This was truly an honor to be of service in this way. Take care.